Weeds. Unwanted. Invasive. Trials. Same. And yet both can be beautiful. It's what we do with them. There is something beautiful about the unwanted, and there's something healing about turning it into something that is not only wanted, but desired. Turning that invasive grass or that prickly weed into a work of art brings me so much joy. For me, it's more than a creative project. It's a direct link to my story. And it's where my creative journey began. During my second pregnancy, the early arrival of my son changed everything in almost an instant. My son was born with a body full of infection, and I had also developed multiple infections that spread to my entire body. In the blink of an eye, my life was now hanging by a thread. The first 7 months were by far the worst. I wasn't strong enough to hold my son. The entire right side of my body atrophied. I had dropped to 98 pounds. I couldn't lift my purse. I couldn't pull my chair out. Every time I sneezed, one of my ribs would dislocate again. And the doctors couldn't give me a for sure answer as to whether or not I would fully heal. And so I was in this really dark place. I was so alone and in so much pain. I would wake up every morning wondering, am I gonna get through this? Is this going to be my forever? It was during this time, during one of my lowest points, that one day my father-in-law randomly gave me a giant tumbleweed. He knew that I was fascinated by them. I took a look at the giant weed and something in it inspired me. I found a pair of clippers and started sculpting. The process hurt. When I was done shaping that tumbleweed, I sewed her onto a piece of burlap stretched over a frame, and then I hung her on the wall. I sat down and wept. That stupid old weed, that invasive tumbleweed, it was beautiful. At that moment, I loved all of it. My pain, my sorrow, and that prickly weed. It took me 4 very difficult years, intense, painful years, to even begin to come out of it. And when I think about that, and when I think of taking that time where I would sit in my room and think, I don't want this. I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. I don't want this pain. I don't want to not be able to hold my son. I don't want to tell my daughter I can't pick her up when she's hurting because she's too heavy for mama. Taking that and now using that for something that's beautiful is so powerful for me, and I literally feel that emotion when I'm creating. If it can make an impact in someone's life, it feels like it's more worth it. I eventually started foraging for other weeds, creating with them, feeling the pain, and pushing through to the beauty. And now, years later, my son is 8 years old, he's almost 9, and I have to stop often and tell myself, this is amazing. This is what you get to do now with your story and with what has happened. Now, these beautiful forged pieces that represent so much to me are a part of Pickletown Flower Company's specialty. These installations are a mixture of the weeds I'm inspired by and products that I import from all over the world. The creative process for me is exciting and exhilarating. I'm not a traditional artist. I can't draw to save my life. I can't paint. I'll usually start with a few pieces that are going to guide the shape, and then from there, it seems as though each element tells me where it wants to go and what it wants to do. As I move through the flow, I often lose track of time and just enjoy the process. I guess there's really no set plan when I start this. I'm usually listening to music with my noise-canceling headphones because I have to tune out everything else. It's a lot of stepping back, looking at the piece. It's all about letting the space speak to me and allowing it to direct my process. Whether it's someone's home or a boutique wall or a commercial lobby, I let the colors and textures in the environment take the lead. I bring everything but the kitchen sink when I show up because I rarely know how a project will come together. I often tell clients and workshop participants that nature isn't a factory. She doesn't make things the same way twice. Let the element guide you. If it curves to the right, go with it. If it curves to the left, go with that. This wild flow is how the art is formed. Foraging is a really fun process for me. Oftentimes, I'm finding things like thistles or grasses, golden wheat color. Kind of the crazier and the pricklier, the better. It creates this unique texture, and I love texture. To think about how I could possibly use this element or what it might look like when it goes into the art piece. So one of the things I love the most about my art and my approach to it is this sense of taking something that is truly unwanted. I mean, nobody wants bull thistle in their backfield or on the side of the road. It goes from being something that was trash or something that needed to be killed off, and nobody would really even think anything of it, and then I'm creating art with it, and what it becomes is fascinating. I never stop foraging, and I'm infinitely curious about what else is out there. I've decided to accept what comes, embrace the pain, bear the hardships, and use it for beauty. I want my art and my floral creations to bring curiosity to the world, to evoke feelings of both joy and awe. How could something so simple, something discarded or unwanted, become a thing of beauty? I want to take this spirit of Pickletown a step further and care for women that struggle with severe depression. My heart is for other people to understand that whatever pain you are experiencing right now, or whatever pain you have been in, whether it's mental or physical, it's what we do with it. And not in that moment, because when you're suffering, there's no expectation for you to handle that like a champ and put a smile on your face. Don't do that. Be in it. It feels like a gift that if my words, my heart, my experience can encourage you and lift you up and remind you that it's not over, if it can make an impact in someone's life, it feels like it's more worth it. Whatever you're going through, whatever you are experiencing, it can become a thing of beauty. It can become something that you then find strength from. My name is Jessica Sparzak, and this is what inspires me to create. What will you create?